Yo, 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 yo. We're back at it again. Another episode of Rhyme and Reasons, our panel podcast. You got your boy Sir Vaughn in the building. What's good, G?
Was good.
We got Leroy Green from the Yay area, California. What's good, brother?
No, I'm from California. I'm from the Yay area. That battle energy is in the air, and I like that energy. I like that. It's a battlefield out here. I'm here for it. I like that energy. So
No
let's
doubt.
go to war.
Let's
Let's
go to
go to war.
war.
You know what
And
I'm
this is your
saying?
this is your boy RKY checking in from Truth and
Yeah.
Consequences, New Mexico. You know what it is. For the wrestling heads, you know what Truth and Consequences, New Mexico. You know who hailed from Truth and Consequences, New Mexico. Trivia
Hey,
question. Trivia
put me
question.
on
Who hailed from Truth or Consequences, New Mexico as a wrestler? Y'all know that?
as a wrestler. I know Exhibit is dropping tonight. Shout out X to the Z. That's from New Mexico. You know what I'm saying? But a wrestler. That's a good
Savon, you
question.
got to know this one, G. Who
New
hailed from?
Mexico?
He hailed from Truth and Consequences, New Mexico. It was a wrestler. I'll give you a
Huh.
hint. He went by many names, but one of his personas he hailed from Truth and
Okay.
Consequences, New Mexico.
I don't know, man. You got to drop the answer
It
on
was
that.
Cactus Jack, Mick
Mick
Foley.
Foley, yeah.
Oh,
Mick
Yeah,
Foley.
okay. Fire.
Cactus Jack was supposed to be from New Mexico, right?
Yep. Truth and Consequences, New Mexico. Mick Foley. So what's good,
Okay,
brothers? What's
okay.
good? Where we starting off today, man? We got a lot of topics today for for the audience. We're gonna talk about Joey Badass dropping finals, the Red Bull freestyle with him and Absol and
Yeah.
Big Sean. Talk about the Daylyt shots, the Vaughn shots. We'll talk
Shot.
about the latest in the Diddy case. I know that's been taking the hip hop world by storm. It's the new age
Shot.
OJ case. We're going to give you the most up to date happenings on that. Snoop Dogg dropped a new album. I don't know if the film came
Snoop
out yet,
Dogg.
but is it a crime that the album just dropped? He put it on Spotify after a
Oh,
couple
man.
years of battling with streaming services and Spotify. And so we got a full show. And then we had an announcement that Common next week will be dropping the re-release of B with 11 new tracks. We'll talk about that a
Fire.
little bit. But let's start off with the day.
Fire.
Let's start off with the Joey Badass situation. Let's go to hip hop. Let's go to the battle. So the Red Bull came out on Tuesday, and then he dropped the finals today. What say
Mm.
you, Servan? Start off with you, Leroy, about this new episode in this battle.
I like that energy, man. Come on. I've been talking about this battle energy for a while now. When Joey first kicked it off, a lot of y'all was saying it was clout chasing. Let's stand on what we say. Let's stand on what we say. A lot of y'all was saying it was clout chasing. I said no. Joey earned the right to battle. He's been around for a long time. Y'all was calling it clout chasing. But to get at, to another point about that is, if you're a rapper that doesn't clout chase, I need to know what you're doing, because this is the business of clout chase. In order to be a rapper, you need fans, correct? That means clout chase. Now there's a negative connotation there, but however, but Joey is doing his thing. I like this energy. I like constructive battles. We know that 99% of it is not real, right? It's not a real problem. We know that it's just lyrical. So let's keep it there and let's bar up. I like that energy. Now, Vaughn, I wasn't quite feeling the last song you did yesterday, but you did have some bars. I'm gonna need you to relax though a little bit though, because now you jumping all over the place. I'm from the West Coast. We from the same side, my brother. But you're going a little crazy. But make your response to Joey Badass. But I do like some bars in Ho era, like when you said West Coast getting seasoned. Now y'all heavy on the salt. That was fire. Skeletons in my closet playing Bone Thugs. I put a whole pro era on a pro club. Fire. Standing next to Soul won't save yours. Fire. So I hear you talking, Vaughn. I didn't quite agree with the beat. The beat. That's a minor critique. Pardon me. The beat, man. But Joey though, Joey today, he got back at you. But I like this energy, man. It's constructive. As far as bar work goes, y'all know I'm a bar work guy. The literary devices angle, now y'all see it in action. Y'all see it a real thing. Rayvon, you also said, "Run Joey, run Joey, run. We gonna aim at your backpack." Daylyt, he talking about backpack culture. West Coast, what we doing? When it comes to backpack culture, I know that a lot of people feel like in West Coast that goes back to 1990. That goes back to the 80s. It was already backpack culture out here. But what I'm saying out to say is, I like this bag. I like that everybody's being lyrical. I like that everybody's being competitive. The only small critique, and I say small critique, I'm not jumping out the window. I said, let's not go personal. And I said this at the very beginning when Kendrick was on the Future album. Let's not go personal. Why? Only because I feel that you could win off bars. Now, if y'all want to get personal, that I'm not mad, but I'm just saying I feel like Joey, Ray, I feel like y'all are skilled enough to win off lyrical ability because I just want to show the culture that we used to battle out real problems with lyrics. Like in reality, like on the West Coast, you had actual gang members that would put their weapons down and battle each other, and then no one would be hurt. That is a strong key. You know what I mean? That I think that hip hop is missing because they didn't see. I saw it physically in the '90s because I was there. You know what I mean? So that's an element. So that's the only thing I could say. But everybody's doing their thing. Shout out to Ray. Shout out to Ab Soul. Like his verse on the Red Bull thing, fire. Uh, Big Sean, fire. Joey's set it off when he responded back to Daylyt, fire. Daylyt, what we doing? Daylyt, you can't drop the ball, my guy. Battle culture, what we doing? Okay, so that's all. I'm just excited, man. Shout out to everybody involved. And keep it lit, man. This is what the culture about. You know what I mean? Lyricism, music, art, and culture. Let's do it. You know what I mean?
No doubt. Servan, what say you about this latest development?
I actually like Joey's last joint. That joint was hard. Um, I did start off saying that it was clout because who he's going at, and at the moment you wasn't gonna get the response, and he's doing exactly what I said he should do, and that's like you have to take those battles up the tree, and that's exactly what he's doing. I mean, Rayvon, Daylyt, those are not the big heavyweight hitters in hip hop. That's you're not gonna get a direct response from a Kenny or a Cole right now. They don't see you as being in the league, and rightfully so if they want to. I think we rush opinions after hype of when you hear stuff or whatever, whatever, and let's just enjoy it and let it play out because I don't see Joey beating Daylyt. I'm just gonna be honest. Um, he comes from that battle arena. He knows angles. He knows he's a fool with the pen. His first, little warning shot to Joey was dope. You know what I'm saying? I actually like Rayvon's joint. I don't like that it kind of rides off the energy that we seen with Not Like Us a little bit. But I see what he was doing this West Coast. I'm not mad at it. It seemed like on that song, every verse got better. But that final joint is hard by Joey, but it's healthy. It's cool right now. It's an interesting position what I see Ab being in, from that Red Bull thing. It makes me wonder what's going on with Ab or what position does he play with all this pretty much because it just seems like people that go at the camp he kind of befriends a lot. But I actually like that Ab is doing what I encouraged it to be done and be visible. Hop out there, show niggas. You know what I'm saying? And we know how dope Ab is with the pen, but the visibility is what's behind there. In this generation, we don't appreciate being mysterious no more. Like we're in the age of social media, we're in the age of news traveling fast, things going out fast, and fast reactions. Being mysterious don't matter no more. They want to know who you are, and he's giving that in the music. But from a broader scope of things, we just need to see you pop out more and be more active. So it's interesting where Abs sits in this. But back to the Joey, yeah, he's picking the fights where it needs to be, and he's barring up, but I just don't think it's enough to give him a crown too late. I mean, like I said, I don't see him beating Daylyt. I'm gonna be honest with you. Joey's nice, and I think he could bar up, but that's Daylyt's arena, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether you like it or not, that's Daylyt's arena, and I don't. What is he gonna say about Daylyt? You know what I'm saying? Like Ray Vaughn already threw some good
Hey,
points at him in the
Joey,
last joint. You know what I'm saying?
Joey cooking. Joey out here cooking, though. He
You
cooking.
know, but
Yeah.
it's cool. It's like it's cool, like if you're rating for how somebody's spitting, but if you're listening to what people are actually saying, it's kind of like, nah, Ray kind of got him, bro. Like that King of New York thing with Ice Spice, that was a clever, like, that was nice, dog. Like, people be looking at delivery and stuff and be like, oh, because like a bunch of word salad don't mean you're dope. It's like,
Right.
I don't care how it's presented, it's what's being said. And Ray actually had a lot of dope shit he said about Joey,
Yeah.
but Joey is clever with the
Yeah.
pen. It's nice. And I really like that finals joint. That finals joint was dope. The Red Bull thing, I think it was good for hip hop. You know, that Red Bull cipher was good for hip hop. I don't want to overhype it. It was great for hip hop. This is what I want to happen. I want it to get back to the grassroots of what it is. But yeah, I just don't see him beating Daylyt. And honestly, it's a great opportunity for Daylyt to
LP.
there's a lot that Daylyt could do with getting into the to this world of music, coming from the battle space. I mean, you could talk about his antics and all that stuff, but when you want to talk about how serious he is with the pen, what is he gonna say?
Well, let me say this, right? I like, when it came out on Tuesday, the Red Bull freestyle. I got a couple email. Actually, I got an email about it before it even came out. I just saw it in my inbox. It was saying, "Hey, check this out." It was kind of odd. It was a PR company. They sent the record to me before it even dropped. But shout out to the PR firm. I forgot your name, but I said this back with the Kendrick and the Cole and Drake situation. I like the beef, right? Beef is a part, it's fabric of hip hop. It's always been around for LL, Ice T, Kumo D, Cannabis, you know what I'm saying? Nas, Jay. There's always been battles, Pac and Big, um, even Jay and Prodigy. But I always think I want to hear about the music, right? So Joey went off on the freestyle. Joey went off on the finals. Joey went off on another record he put out a couple months back. But I want to hear some more joints, right? I
Pull
want
it
this to
back.
be I want this to be a build up to some more music, right? I want to know more about, I think Ray Vaughn had the good, the bad, and the dollar menu. You know what I'm saying? I want to know more records about who Ray Vaughn is outside of the beef, right? The beef stuff is cool. It's good for hip hop if he stays on wax and it's healthy competition, but I want to hear some fire Joey songs outside of the beef. You know what I'm saying? At this
I
moment in
I hear.
2025. You know what I'm
Hold
saying?
on. I hear that though, but when you're actually in the battle, stuff can change in 24 hours. So yes, I'm working on my personal music to release to my fans. That's real music. But then I also have to be able to pivot within 24 hours because I'm in a battle. Do you know? So that's the give and take right there. Like, if I'm working on my real album, but then somebody sends a shot, then I'm gonna stop working on my real album and then go respond to that. You know what I mean? So that's the given, that's the timetable.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I think that before you cook Savon, I think the battle will be more enhanced if Ray Vaughn and Joey had some other records that were percolating and bubbling right now. It will just make the battle better. Right now, it's just the battle. It's cool, but I want to hear some other records besides the battle because at some point it's going to get corny and played out if you ain't got no other records to kind of sustain the movement. If you know what I mean.
How could this get corny? I hear people talking about good music, no shots, but I don't think y'all care about good music because I don't see y'all buy that, support that, talk about that. All the good music we never talk about. So do we? I don't think it's about good music. I think it is about having clout. So if that's the game we're gonna play, we gotta put music to the side, and everybody we're gonna chase clout now. But if we're gonna do it through battling, I respect that. You know what I mean? If it's about good music, then all of y'all should have been listening to Snoop Dogg's new album last night. If it was about good music. But it's not about that. Y'all was tuned into what Joey and Vaughn was doing. So let's do it. You know what I mean? But the battles are songs. Like the finals is a song. What's the song called? Whole Era. That's a song. So they are songs. You know what I mean? They're just battle songs. But what I like about the situation is now you're upping the bar. Like now we're looking at lyrics now. We wasn't looking at lyrics before. We would just listen to the song and be like, okay, but we didn't see what bar was nice and who was doing what. The bar that Joey said, you ain't no rock. No, oh. You ain't no Ray Liotta. How much you made, man? You know what I mean? When he said, let him rock while I charge you top dollar. Let him rock while like rock the dog scheme. Come on. Like these are the intricacies of the bars. You the next to get dropped on top roster. I'ma be the reason. It's like these little intricacies in lyricism, right? They need to be looked at because we look at them as inconsequential. But now that you see them in a battle format, you see that these techniques do matter, or these ways that you can convey a message does matter. You know what I mean? So we'll get back to the good music, but what RJ says Snoop Dogg is not good music. Anybody that thinks Snoop Dogg is not good music, don't you can't speak to me about music. You cannot speak to me if Snoop Dogg it doesn't make good music. You can't speak to me
We're gonna
about
get
music
to Snoop. We're gonna
ever.
get to Snoop in a minute.
You
We'll
know what I
come to
mean?
that. We'll
You
get
can
to
never talk to me about music
we'll get to
because
that
that
in a
doesn't make
minute. We'll
sense.
get to that in a minute. Let's stick
Okay.
on this. Let's cook on this topic. Go ahead, Sir
I'm
Vaughn.
gonna say this, man, because I'm a person that always say make sure the music is good, and just because, first of all, music taste and what's good is always going to be subjective, right? That's number one. There's music that we could all agree is just garbage juice, don't deserve a place. That there's records that we could all come to a mutual agreement on that. And then there's some that's cool, and there's some that's like amazing when you hear it. But one thing that I see often that people overhype as good music is things that is just a bunch of word salad. It sounds good because you can't understand this shit. It always have to be broken down technically in order for you to get the point across. That doesn't equate to just good music. A good song is a good song. It could be simplified. It could have just a dope hook. There's so many ways you can make a good song without being super technical. And there's so many artists who have done it. So in your eyes, from how you're saying it, is good music is something that is like super technical or whatever. A lot of people, casual listeners, people that just love listening to what sounds good, they don't give a fuck about none of that, Leroy. They don't. They just want to
I
hear a good song.
understand, but try
They
to
want to hear
make
a
music
song.
without technical skill. Try it. Everybody, go in your studio
This
and
is
try
true.
not to use technical skill and just make music.
A bunch of word salad is not equivalent to just a good song. A good song has
I'm not,
a good
but
beginning, a good
who's
ending.
eating word salad? Who does that?
A lot of
You know
people
what I mean?
that you represent that you say are making good music are people that just say a bunch of word salad. You know what I'm saying? And
Cannabis,
I'm not saying
cannabis.
Joey. I'm not saying Joey. I like what Joey's doing right now. This is a real good opportunity for Joey, and I don't want to overhype it because I don't want to give you participation points. Like, damn, finally you're rapping, bro. You're a rapper. That's what you're supposed to do. So I'm not gonna overhype it. He's doing nice right now.
I'm gonna
And
overhype it.
I'm doing it, but
I'm
I'm
gonna
not
over.
overhyping the nigga for doing what he was supposed to be doing in the first place. You know what
But
I'm
how
saying?
could
So
he
I'm
do it?
overhyping,
How
but
could
a
he do
lot of
that?
people that you think is good music are niggas that just throwing words together, just word salad. That doesn't
Who?
mean it's records. It doesn't mean it's good. Name who you think are the dopest rappers out right now.
So so
The people
so
that we check
daylight would
for that's not good music
daylight
and
would
tell me
be
that's good music.
2 points. Daylight would be someone who think just throws words together, right? That would be someone that. But when we on closer examination, we can see that there is a scheme there. Now, musically, take the words aside, right? And I'm not I know what you mean, so I don't 100% disagree with points made on music because it is subjective. However, let's say I'm a drummer. Is music suggestive if I'm a drummer? No, because either I'm on point or I'm not on point. So there is no more subjectivity. Well, a drummer doesn't have room to be subjective. So what I say when it comes to good music, when it comes to the instrumentation, it does get to a point where you don't have room to be subjective, because if I have the music in front of me, the instrument in my hand, just saxophone, I cannot be subjective. I have to play it on point. And that's how my ears work. When I listen to music, as an instrument kid. I grew up before the schools got rid of instruments. I'm an instrument kid. So I'm hearing whether you are on point or you are missing notes and you're all over the place. So when I'm saying something, when I say Snoop Dogg is good music, I'm saying the instrumentation in his music is on point because I'm an instrument kid. You know what I mean? Now, if you ask me to play an instrument now, I'm not that good. But in my younger day, you know what I mean? But that's the only thing I'm saying. Now, granted, a people's opinion, yes, you are correct. Opinions are subjective, but musicality gets to a point where it's not always subjective, my brother.
So by your metric, you're saying instrumentation, whatever. Andre 3000 dropped the flute album. He dropped the piano album. Is that good music to you?
Well, he himself says he's a novice that doesn't really know, that has not mastered his talent. That's him saying that. So if it's good music or not good music, he himself said he has not mastered the piano and
You
the
can
flute.
have the best equipment, the best instruments, the best technology possible, and still make some bad shit. And, you know, and
You
this
can
is
always
not
make bad music. That
Joey.
can
I
always
actually like what Joey's doing. I actually like what Joey's doing, but it's to your take of what you're saying, what's good music, and a lot of stuff not being mentioned that's not being good or whatnot. But a lot of things that I know that people will throw out there and say is good music, it's very subjective, it's very biased, and honestly, it has nothing to grow on besides that niche audience. And this is aside from talking Joey. This is to your comment of what good music is. And I think it's subjective in saying that if people are not into this stuff, then they don't like good music. That's not true, bro. Like a lot of
Okay,
good
that's
music
cool.
have a bunch of intricacies and complex schemes and technique for it to be considered a good record. It doesn't require that.
But
And
you like this battle,
that's what I'm
right?
gonna convey to you. You don't have to have all these technicalities in order for it to be good music. We've seen that with
You don't? If
no,
you
you
don't
don't.
need to have
Not
these
like us.
technologies
Not
to
like
make good
us is a
music,
prime example. Not like us is a prime example. Was that not a simplified version that still got the point across? The
I
reason why it
think
was good was not because it was a diss record solely. It was because it was a good song.
I think Kendrick Lamar has mastered technicality. I think if he did
Yes,
not,
but he
I don't
also
think his music would
understands.
work
He also
without it.
understands how to craft just a good song from beginning to end.
Right. And with his biggest song was
Because of technical skill.
his biggest song was his most simplest song though.
Because of technical skill.
So, what do
You
you
know,
think a mass of people enjoy more? Not like us, or something that is like what you'll say one is more technical. They talk about not like us
y'all
more than
y'all don't
Euphoria.
buy what you don't buy what you're
Not like
fans of.
us more than Euphoria. Euphoria has more technical skill in rapping than it does with Not Like Us. What do you see propped up more to the masses of people?
I think Kendrick Lamar shines because he's technically proficient at the art of making music.
I think he
You know,
shines because he knows how to create songs. It doesn't
that
matter what
that's
the
being
subject,
that's the
it does not
highest
matter
level
what
of
the subject
technical.
area is. He does a great job of conveying it. You know who was also great at doing that? Tupac. Was there a lot of technical skill with Tupac?
Tupac is literally trained in musicality.
Was there any
Yes.
complex technical
Yes.
skill to Tupac's writing? No. Tupac
Yes.
got you by feeling. He got you by the
Yes.
heartstrings.
No.
When he said
Tupac.
stuff,
Tupac
his voice was
used
more of an
poetic.
instrument than the music itself.
Tupac is to Tupac. Tupac is a poetic student and a performance art student. Them lyrics that you think is just lyrics is actually a mastery in poetics that he went to school for, and he learned the poetics. Now, whether people want to agree with that or not agree with that, when you have Brenda got a baby, these are not loose lyrics just thrown out. This is a master of poetics that is trained in Shakespearean language. But I hear what you're saying, and I'm not undercutting that. But to your point about Joey, we all enjoyed this battle,
I
right?
like
Because
Joey.
of
This
Joey
is
and
separate
Ray
from the
Vaughn.
Joey thing. This is the address your good
Right.
music comment.
But
I like
were
what
we
Joey's
this
doing. I'm not mad at
excited
what Joey's doing.
when he
But
wasn't
I'm not getting
battling?
super excited about it, y'all. I want to see things play out. You get
Right. Were we
drafted.
this excited about Joey Badass when he wasn't battling? Did we get this amped about his songs? Because his songs were good songs. If we're all saying you need to make good music, well, Joey does make good music. If we go back in his catalog and we go through his albums, what you will find is those are good songs. But I did not see this level of excitement until he's engaged in battle. Now I'm seeing a heightened level of excitement. So is it
Because he
about
hasn't
good
made
music?
anything that was worthy of talking about in how many years. That doesn't mean Joey is bad. When people say that, they make it seem like hip hop right now, it has how it's been for a long time, is a what have you done for me lately industry.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I shouldn't have to go back over 10 something
Okay.
years to go say, damn, man, that's good music. What have you done for me lately? It's
But they
cool.
were, but it was good music.
I
Just
love
so
what you're doing right now. But I like it's what have you done for me lately? It is.
I got it.
And he's showing improving right now. I hope he keep it up. I hope his dope music come from it. I'm not gonna overhype it, but there's validity to saying, hey, he hasn't gave anything that was noteworthy since what 2017 or something. I think that's fair. That's not
Okay.
shit. It's just the facts are the facts. He's an acting, he's doing other stuff, bro. It doesn't take away from it. In this era, artists don't really get the chance to really go kick it for a while because we've been in a society that is so microwavable that if you're not forcing music, they kind of like think you're washed or whatever. So I like what he's doing, but I'm not going to give you brownie points because now you decide you want to rap. What have you been doing in the semi years? You've been doing other stuff or whatever. Now
I
you want to
got
talk
it.
about cool.
I got it.
You're only as good as your last shit. So
I
show
got
us
it.
this.
But when Joey was making music that wasn't tailored to battling, in the same week that he dropped that music, I was saying it was good. I'm in the comments saying, "Yo, Joey's new album that dropped this week is good." When he dropped American Badass, when he dropped 2000, I'm in the comments like, "Yo, Joey's album is good." People wasn't interested in all of that. So now that he's back, but I'm not. I don't got no reason to lie to you. If it was trash, I would have said this music is trash. But that's not what I was saying. I said the music is
Joey's
good.
a trash artist. I don't think he's
You
a
know what I
trash.
mean? But people wasn't feeling that. Now all of a sudden, though, everyone is saluting, which I appreciate the salute because it's genuine. But you're saluting. He's in battle mode. If it's really about good music, then don't wait for a battle to pop off to show your salute because
But
bro
don't wait
was
till
nice
battle to
before the
don't wait
battle.
for battle to show off to start giving us good music.
I'm just saying he did do that already, though.
But I'm
That's
saying,
all I'm
what
saying.
I'm
He
saying,
did that.
the battle will be enhanced if there was some other records. If he got like 4 or 5 records that's percolating right now, and then this record, it takes the battle to another level if there's other records surrounding it. If it's a dope mixtape
But
out,
how? Because you're gonna stop listening to this battle to go listen to Joey make a love song about his relationship right now or something.
that would be dope.
It
I
would
mean,
be, but
look,
your
I'm not
main
mad at the
attention
battle.
would be this
I'm not.
battle.
I'm not mad at the battle. I'm mad at battles that don't come with a good body of work afterwards.
Right.
Because like, I always like the competition, but where's the music at the end of the day, man? It's like at a certain time,
Okay,
like coming off this Drake and Kendrick shit is gonna be battle fatigue. But I like this. I like this so far. This has been cool so far. But like you have to give us the bodies of work. You have to give us the songs, man. Like this battle, I separate like I like artists that have figured it out how to come with a battle song that's still like a good record, but sorry, but shit. But when you get, but when you get, but when you get those battle records, those don't usually translate to just good songs overall. It's like once we're done with the battle, unless it's iconic, it's kind of like it kind of falls to the wayside. And what do you
right,
have now?
right.
You know what I'm saying? So I want the good battle. I mean, the good body of work. I want the good albums. I want the good songs. I want him to actually flourish and get some credit that he deserves because I actually think Joey has a
I
lot of,
got it.
and I think Joey
Yeah,
can be competitive. And I like the finals record, but it's like, come on, man! Like
finals is
the
fire, man.
opportunity
He's
is here,
cooking,
man.
man. You know,
The
we got the neighborhood troll. He said something about Pendulum Ink. I think there's some whispers that Ray Vaughn feels away about how Mickey Fax rated the battle or whatever. Be careful with the waters that you jump in, rappers. You know what I mean? If you want to jump in these waters, it's on you, man. But I like the battle. You know what I mean? I think it's competitive for the sport, and I think we can walk and chew gum at the same time. So yes, you are correct that we would like some dope music. Of course, we always would like dope music, but we can do the battle and dope music. But I do like the fact that it is sparking these conversations, and people are taking a closer look at the lyrics. And I
Yeah.
gotta salute Joey Badass because he kind of set it off when he was going at Kendrick, and we all know that it wasn't personal. This ain't a real beef. No one's gonna get hurt or
No,
nothing like
they
that.
turned
So
up
I
and they
salute
want
that.
to go for the crown. I get it, but
Right, right,
you can't be
right.
mad at Kendrick for not responding. You can't
Oh
be
no,
mad
I'm
at
not
Cole
mad.
for not responding. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? A lot of people are saying, "Oh, they're ducking." I was like, "Come on, bro! Like you can't
yeah, yeah. I
like
ain't mad.
roll and come out of nowhere and throw rocks at the stone and then think like
Right.
at the throne and then think
Well,
these guys are supposed to automatically respond to
he
you. Like,
can't
nah,
respond.
you
He
gotta
he
pay.
can't respond. He's on tour. He can't respond.
Yeah, I
He's
like
busy.
this. You know what I don't like, and I think I said this through message is like, let's enjoy the shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like the breakdowns of all this is the same thing that I said. That's why I did not enjoy the Kendrick and Drake beef because the overhyping, the analyzing, breaking it down, and like this shit just started, bro. Like it really just started. We haven't even heard
Right.
everybody bottle stuff like that around. It's like, come on, man, we got to stop doing this. It kills it. It really does kill the experience of
No, it does. That's the
it
fun
does,
part.
bro. It does, bro.
That's
We
the
got
fun.
that's
That's the
another
fun
one thing.
part, bro.
There's
You don't make the
responsibility
ugly
that
face
artists
when
have.
you hear a
There's
dope
a
line.
responsibility that the artists have to deliver the good music. Us as consumers and listeners, it's on us to really be one with the music, bro, and
Y'all
listen to
don't.
this shit. It's like
You,
we're rushing to give reactions and opinions and think pieces and shit. So it just makes the music enjoyment experience so bad, bro. It really
you
is,
you
G.
don't you don't make the ugly face when you hear a dope bar. When you hear a
I
dope
do,
bar,
bro.
you don't go.
And I'm not
Mm,
rushing to the internet. I'm not rushing
mm,
to the internet. I'm listening to it. I love just
mm.
listening and enjoying the music, bro.
No,
And
man.
I think I think in this era, everybody's rushing to give an opinion and rushing to give a think piece and rushing to do breakdowns that I don't really think they're really sitting and enjoying the music, man.
But before we wasn't giving no breakdowns at all. And that I think that was even worse when we're not hearing from people what they think. That was even worse. You know what I mean? So now that we do get to hear and see people's opinion, I think that's fly. I mean, I get what you're saying, but until I see people actually care about good music, then I'll change my tune. But to be honest with you, I've seen people gravitate more to what's trending than they do to good music. That's just my honest opinion. So I kind of I'm going where the people go until they start saying, "Hey, forget what's trending. Let's talk about good music." Then I'll change my tune because again, Snoop Dogg just dropped a project last night. Now, whether you like Snoop Dogg or not, I'm using it as example because it's current. It just dropped last night. But you could pick exhibits coming next week. Raekwon may come, or you could pick whoever you want to pick. But until I see people make a big deal about good music, then we're going to talk about what's trending because that's what seems to have your people's opinion. Honestly, honestly. So, but I think we can do both, right? So I think the middle ground is us doing both. We start tapping in and looking for good music, and we keep this battle stuff alive
No, it's a
because
place for all of it.
you
It's
know
a
what
place
I
for
mean.
all of it. It's just like the overhype and the stuff like this is why I say enjoy it kills the experience of listening to the music, G. And this is why we are in the way that we are in music, bro, and why artists get written off fast or what artists be dick rolled the most. It's just this is why, bro. And this is what I'm saying. It's like I love the excitement for the music. I always wanted the excitement for the music to be there. But when the overhype, you remember when Missionary came out, you guys overhyped it?
I like the album. What do you want me to
That's
do?
I
What do
respect.
you
There's nothing wrong with you liking it, but it immediately album of the year. What did I say? I said it's top heavy. It's cool. The production was kind of overproduced for Snoop, but I like it because
I'm from California.
But I wasn't rushing out to give a review. I have to sit and be with the music, man. These days, people are like, stuff is an instant classic or stuff is hype. Like, bro, it
Gotcha.
really kills. It really kills people's listening experience. I'm telling you.
And the people will tell you what's a classic, right? The people you know, and
Over
again, I
time,
hate
they'll tell you what's a
Will they
classic.
tell you?
y'all get on me for saying this all the time. You can, and I hate to say this, I'm not going to give an example, but when you go out and you go amongst the people will let you know what's bubbling, what's popping, and it's an
Will
organic
they?
experience. It's an organic experience. No radio, no algorithm. It's just the people going to the shops,
But if you
to
don't
the
have no
barbershop,
parties at your house, how
right?
many of you have parties at your house?
All the
If
time.
that's not what you do, then how are you talking to me about popular consensus of music when you don't have parties at your house? When I tell you about Snoop Dogg, it's not because I just like Snoop Dogg. It's because I'll go to parties where it's a bunch of people there and Snoop Dogg is ringing off. So it's not just me. You know what I'm saying? It's I'm
Well, I don't know.
seeing
Maybe it's a West Coast thing because I ain't
it
been
is
to
a
a part.
West Coast thing,
I ain't been
but I'm
only
saying
Snoop I
a
hear at a
lot of y'all
party is
listen
Gin
to
and
Snoop.
Juice.
A
What's my
lot of y'all listen
name?
to Snoop Dogg by
Drop it like
yourself.
it's hot.
What are you doing?
Sexual
What are you?
seduction. Other than that, I don't hear no Snoop records at no
If
parties.
you
But that's
listen
just
to
me.
Snoop and you're not at a party, I need to understand what you're doing.
You talking about an old
Because
school
when you
party?
listen to Snoop's music, obviously it's party music, right? It's obvious. It's not a mystery or it's obvious party music. So
Leroy,
why are you not at a party?
Leroy. You
You know
know
what I'm saying?
you are aware
When
it's
you
20.
listen to his
Leroy,
gospel album and you're not into gospel music, well then what are you doing?
Leroy, you are aware it's
What are you
2025,
doing?
right? Leroy, you know it's the year 2025, right?
Yeah, and Snoop Dogg is still smashing on y'all
You
young
didn't wake
rappers.
up. You didn't wake up from a frozen state like Captain America. You know it's 2025,
I'm saying
right?
y'all listen to music by yourself and then think that you are the judge of everybody. Like
Leroy,
you're
did you
by
do it?
yourself.
No,
You
no,
just
no.
getting
But
out? You just getting out
You're
of
by
Sin
here's the
City?
thing.
yourself.
Here's the thing. We're not the gatekeepers for what good music is. We could agree to disagree. What you may like may not be what I like, and vice versa. Or we could agree or not disagree. I mean, or not agree. We're not the gatekeepers of what good music is. I don't like trying to convince people something. I don't like bad takes about stuff that has to do with music, and I'll give a rebuttal for that. But I'm not gonna try to convince you of something that's dope. I could tell you that I think something is dope and why I think it's dope, and you could disagree, but most times I'm giving rebuttals against ridiculous things that people give as reason not liking music that has nothing to do with the music. You know what I'm saying? I hate that shit. But for the most part, bro, the overhyping of stuff and the like, one thing I give to you guys, this is something that should be celebrated. Like the cipher, the competition, real lyrics coming back, that should be uplifted. It should be exciting. But like, I'm not rushing out and saying Joey had verse of the year. Joey had freestyle of the year. Bro,
But
we're
why not though? Why
in May.
not?
We're in
But
May.
look, to your point, right? It's people that are hyping Dolce right now, but they're teenage females. So why not let them hype it?
I don't like
Why
the
do why,
overhype of
why do
anybody. I
people
don't care if
jump
it's
up?
Dolce or not. I didn't
I
like the
know,
over. I
but
don't like the overhype of
why do people
anything.
jump up
I
and say,
don't.
"Hey, y'all, you can't celebrate Doechii"? Like
You
if
can
you see some
There's a
teenage
difference.
girls
There's a
celebrating Doechii, why not just let them do
You can
that?
celebrate the music. You could like the music, bro. It's like I think it would be crazy for somebody to come out here and say Doechii is the best female rapper of all time. Wouldn't that sound
Well,
ridiculous?
I don't hear that. I don't hear that.
No, no, I haven't heard it either. But I'm saying, wouldn't that sound ridiculous if somebody say that, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah. It would sound ridiculous.
When
But
an
people
artist
are
drops
mad
something or
that
whatever
people
like
like
that, they'll just be
Doechii.
like,
They're
"This is
literally
the
upset.
best one of all. This is the best verse. This is album of the year." Blah blah blah. And we're in May, bro. We're in May. There's so
We
much
got it.
music.
I think we need to do a rule, and we need to send out a memo to all podcasters, all people on social media. No album of the year, verse of the year discussions till November, at
But
least after
why not? Oh,
Thanksgiving.
yeah, I've said that before. But if let's say I like somebody, right? Like I like West Side Gun. I like Lupe Fiasco. If one of these guys come out and make a record, West Side Gun makes a record, and I get all hyped up about it, why not let me be hyped? I like West Side
No,
Gun. I know
yeah.
that
If you like
everybody
it,
Remember,
else.
you
be-
like it.
I'm
You
just
have
talking about
everybody have
me.
the right to like what they like. But when you start saying, "Oh, this album of the year, he the best ever," and blah, like, come on, bro. Like, there's certain things that I
I
hear
got
that. ridiculous, bro. And I just be like, come on, G, like, come on.
You're
No,
doing
no,
when they do too much. When they do too
do too
much is what.
much, do too much. We got to
Yeah,
stop this. Verse of the year, album of the year. It can't start till
man.
November. After Thanksgiving. Shout out to
That's when yeah,
shout out to
man.
the Thanksgiving Day game. I think the Cowboys play the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. Shout out to the Cowboys. We're gonna talk about that football
Right.
schedule in a
You're
minute. Shout
like
out
I'm
to the.
never.
Go ahead.
You yours, Ron. I'm sorry. Sorry,
No,
bro.
go ahead. Go, bro. I'm just talking shit
Like
about the
I'm never gonna
Cowboys.
like if you say you like the Snoop album. I haven't heard the new Snoop album yet, but if you say you like the Snoop album is dope to you, I'm not gonna be like, man, you shouldn't be listening to that shit. That shit's whack. I'm not gonna do that. That's
That's
your
what it
opinion.
sounds like to
That's
other
no.
people.
I haven't
Right,
listened to it. I haven't listened to it for me to
right,
give that opinion. I'm not a missionary. I have not
right, right,
mentioned it.
right.
I haven't
I
listened
got
to it,
you.
so
So
I
this
can't have an opinion.
so this is the
But what
perfect this is the perfect segue. Snoop Dogg, Is It a Crime? New album, new film, fresh off the heels of last year's Missionary. He's back working with Battle Cat, other producers. I think Pharrell's on the album. I think Sexy Red's on this album. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, so I'll say my opinion. I heard a couple tracks. Like I heard the one with Pharrell. I heard others. So I don't have an opinion on it. But Leroy, have you heard the album? What's your thoughts?
Yes.
I heard a
First,
couple tracks. I haven't got to
first
listen
off,
to sit with the music. I haven't. I haven't.
I'm from California. Snoop Dogg, I don't have no choice. We rocking with Snoop Dogg. And I don't always agree with Snoop Dogg because we know we had he had a situation that's in the air with the whole Trump thing. He was at the crypto ball or whatever. But I don't always agree with that. But I can't be talking about somebody that I'm not willing to go talk to him in person, in his face. That's just the cloth I'm cut from, right? So I respect Snoop Dogg. And also shout out to his wife, man. Shout out to his wife holding him down 30 years. Like there's a lot of perception in hip hop that's gonna get tarnished now and they're gonna attack the culture. But I'm gonna stand on there are some people out there that have been standing by their wife for decades. You know what I mean? But with the music though, Snoop, I love Snoop Dogg's music because it is about instrumentation for me. It is about sonic quality. It is about diversity and sound. It is about what he came in the door with G Funk, Nate Dogg, Warren G, Dr. Dre. I don't have no. I'm cut from that. Yeah, and then this man been out here doing this for 3 decades. You know what I mean? The man got like 40 albums. You know what I mean? Counting if we also count mixtapes and collaborative albums, y'all. So I'm also counting those. But I gotta respect that. I listened to the new album. It's a movie. I think that we should make our albums movies. He uses a little bit of AI. If you are not a super rich guy, now there is a tool at your disposal to make your videos look a certain way. I just want to throw that out there. But I did enjoy the album. But again, I'm gonna be biased because I'm from California. We are a people that like to party, y'all. I'm sorry. We party like that's what we do. Backyard boogie, barbecue, go. We're having parties. That's our culture. So everybody else, you may not understand that. You know what I mean? But when you put Snoop Dogg on in these settings, it goes. You know what I mean? Shout out to him for the gospel album too. We're into gospel music on the West Coast. I'm sorry. We enjoy praising God too. Sorry. You know what I mean? But it's like the man to me, he makes good music. I don't always have to agree with everything he does, but overall, yes, I think Snoop Dogg has done his thing. I enjoy the record. I only listened to it once, so pardon me for not giving you an in-depth breakdown on it, but it's fire. And Snoop Dogg, I don't know if I would always give an in-depth breakdown on that anyway. But sonically, I heard some stuff. I heard some stuff that may sound like Dilla. I heard some Battle Cat stuff. I heard some stuff that sounds like old Warren G and Regulators, Nate Dogg type stuff. I heard some stuff that may sound like Dog Pound stuff. I shots thrown at Suge Knight. You know what I mean? It's up for Suge Knight. Like I appreciate all that, man. So yes, I thought it was a dope album, and I think y'all should check out the movie, the Snoop Dogg movie that he dropped last month. Okay?
Yeah, I commend Snoop for still being able to drop music and bounce between genres or whatever. I actually like the Back on Death Row album because that was like it seemed like the albums that was before, you know, Missionary, or the albums surrounding that, like the production was just, it mirrored Snoop more. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially back on Death Row. I haven't got to this one. I was looking at the track list. I heard a couple songs and it just sounded like Snoop. You feel me? Like, I didn't feel like hearing that music mesh well with Snoop on Missionary for the most part. There's records I like on the Missionary album, but it's like it just seems like overproduced to Snoop style. And so if this is like an album that meshes well with him and his style, I'm rocking with it. I'm still gonna check for it. I just haven't peeped it. It was a surprise album that, you know, he dropped in the middle of a week at all. You know, I'm not really listening to a lot of albums and new albums in the middle of the week, you know. So I'll get
Mhm.
to it. I'm not shitting on it. I haven't heard it. I'm gonna just give it a listen and see what it sounds like. I like
Yeah,
the
I mean,
feature.
somebody said don't push Snoop on us. When were you born? Snoop came out in 1992. Do I have to push a guy that's been out since 1992 on you? Like, I think you already know who Snoop is. But again, like Snoop, again, it's like someone.
It's dope.
Yeah, it's Snoop is like someone like Wiz Khalifa or Currency. Am I really trying to break down bars like it's cannabis rapping to Snoop? Like, no, I'm not really trying to do that. It's lifestyle music. Either you rock with it or you don't. If you don't rock with it, that's cool. I'm not telling you to like Snoop Dogg, people. I'm telling you what I like. I'm not telling you what you should like. That's the difference. But I mean, I gotta respect that, because if you from California and you don't respect Snoop Dogg, I question your musical sense. I just do.
I'm
You
really
know what I mean?
interested in hearing what that October London record he got sound like. I like October London. He's really dope.
Yeah, no, man, fire. Like, and he's on this album, and that voice that he got, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
reminiscent of
Marvin Gaye
Marvin Gaye.
sound.
Come on,
Mm-hmm.
man. It's like, come on. Like, this is soul music. I grew up on soul music. When I hear Snoop Dogg, I hear soul music. I don't hear just, just gangster rap. Now, as far as that line goes, though, I think he's held that up well. And what I mean by that is we're getting a full human being. He's not just giving you one perspective. He got the song about his family. He got the song about his young youth days. He got the song about the streets. He got the gospel song. He got what he gives you is a full human being. And I appreciate that in the music. You're gonna give me
Snoop
a
is solidified.
like he's a
Solidified.
grandfather. Yeah, 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 yeah. So I like to see the OGs still around. Now, if for y'all that's some hating ass niggas, y'all haters. Like, your job is to be upset when you see someone else doing good, because that's your spirit. You a hater. But for the rest of y'all that's not haters, like, salute, man. When we see somebody doing good, especially one of our OGs or any of our OGs, we should salute that. You know what I mean? Because there's some OGs not doing so well, as y'all all know. You know what I'm saying? So when we see one doing well, we should probably salute that. That's all. And if you don't like the music, cool. But I love it, man. And I think that as far as branding and as far as a business, when you got somebody that is probably worth $1 billion. Now, somebody else will say, no, he's not. But I'm saying, I don't know what market in America you're in where Snoop doesn't have a footprint. Whatever that market is, you let me know. But I think that's a blueprint to what our young artists should be. Is he perfect? Hell no, Snoop Dogg ain't perfect. But he did do a good job though in rap music. Come on now, come on, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
He did.
yo, yo, shout out to Snoop. I will check out the album this weekend, but I will say I like his commercials on the solo stove because I'm looking for like a fire pit to put in my backyard, like a smokeless pit. So shout out, he got me
Come on,
convinced.
man.
Him and Warren G did a commercial for the solo stove. I might get a Brio. I gotta look at the
Come
prices.
on.
But gotta get the
Oh,
backyard ready for the fall. You know what I mean? But shout out to Snoop.
got to.
Shout out to Snoop. Let's get to something else real quick. A little bit more serious news.
Let's
We
do it.
like to be on the forefront of news, and we're trying to be a journalistic network. We got to talk about the Diddy trial a little bit, latest developments. Right now, he's currently being charged with uh, trafficking, prostitution, running a criminal enterprise. From 2004 to 2024. He's pleading not guilty. The trial began this week. Jury selection was last week in New York. Trial started this week. Testimony came from one of the hotel staff and also Cassie, his ex girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, testified today. Oh, she's been testifying all week. Today,
Just
yesterday,
like,
and I think she will continue
well,
tomorrow. So the case has been going on. I think the defense is trying to paint a picture that this was no coercion involved. It was all voluntary. A lot of graphic details have been shared about in the middle of the trial. Transcripts have been shared, text messages, photos, the video from the incident at the hotel was shown, and looks like the case may be going on for 6 to 8 weeks. We don't know, but that's the latest development as of now. Have you guys been keeping up with the case? What are your thoughts on where Diddy stands right now? Or the latest developments that you've heard as they trickle out the court and they've been on the news? What say you guys?
yeah. So I've been keeping up. I didn't see fully all the details from today, but I seen some. I think Cassie been on the stand. What was it for the past 2 days? I would say.
Yeah,
3 days.
But they're on day 4 of the trial. And at first, the first day of testimony, I'm like, they're delving a lot into the domestic violence side of it and the abuse and all that. And if he was on trial on that, hell yeah, he's guilty. And so my thing I want to see is like, what are they proving that goes into these charges? And it seems like they're building a case around the relevance of Cassie due to multiple things. The thing of proving that she was like participating under duress, and which goes into what could happen for that trafficking stuff and what they're doing, but it's conflicting because they have text messages of her saying she loved freak offs. There's on testimony, they asked her, did he they asked us a specific question. I forgot what the question was, but her answer was that, basically some of them she wanted done, and it's just interesting on how much was it of a voluntary thing that you participate in this, and how much were you doing it that was forced, because she said she was doing these things because she didn't want to make him mad, or she wanted him to have more attention. So I think that's where the cross is going to kind of focus on, is like trying to get it to prove that she wasn't forced, that she was voluntarily. I don't know how they're going to pull that off. It's not looking good for him. There's a lot of sick stuff that came out in this case. And at first I was like, man, if they're riding just on that Cassie stuff, I don't know how far it's going to go to proving what the actual charges are. But it's kind of like, I don't know. I think the buildup of the character, you've released so much information, and then the video, and there's so much that's being said and done that just have this guy sounding like a monster. I think it's going to be really hard for the jury to side on any other way. And I don't know if it's fully true. I got to confirm, but I think Don Richardson, or Don Richard from not day 26, but what was the girl group?
Danny D. Kane. Danny D. Kane.
Be testifying. I know she had something that she spoke out with him. I don't know how that's going to be relevant to the case, but it's just like I don't know how this is going to go, man. It seems hard pressed if Diddy is going to think he's going to get off on it, because at least if anything, I think they are going to get him for the trafficking stuff, because it's been proven that you guys was hiring these sex workers and for purpose of sex, and flying them out and doing and making them travel and all that. And in this day and age of what sex trafficking is, that qualifies for it. But anything else, as far as a RICO, you have to prove there was a criminal enterprise, and this was done in that way to facilitate criminality. And I don't know if they've proven to that sense, but they have definitely proved a trafficking part of it, from how I see it in my eyes. And it's still early in the trial, but I really don't know how it's going to play out. But I really see Diddy going down, bro. I'm just going to be honest. If they don't get him on everything, they're at least going to get him on that trafficking.
No doubt. Let me read you a super chat before you go, Leroy. Jermaine Johnson with the super chat. Shout out to you for the super chat. I stand with all victims of domestic violence. However, in this case of domestic violence is irrelevant. The alleged acts of domestic violence is way past the statute of limitations, and Diddy isn't on trial for domestic violence.
Which I agree. He's not on trial for it, but it paints a picture to the jury that this guy was a violent guy. He was a guy that abused his power. He was a guy that had no regards. Like, they're really painting the image of this guy being a monster. And if what they're saying is true, that video, the relevance of why the prosecution was pushing to have that video involved in this case, even though it was beyond the statute of limitations, is she's saying that in that video, well, I don't know if she's saying, I think the prosecution is saying that video alone was her escaping an alleged freak off in a hotel. And when he, beat her and all that and brought her back, they could consider that under duress of forcing her back into a situation of sexual acts or whatever. So in that case alone, that's the smoking gun. So I don't know how that goes or what's going to be proven. Like, I really can't call it right now, but I could tell you it does not look good for Diddy. And whether they can prove he's guilty of the charge or not, he's guilty of just being a fucking horrible person. We could say that. And I don't solely think that Cassie's 100% squeaky clean herself, but there's no way to combat that she wasn't abused or these things didn't happen. I mean, it's there, bro.
Let me just say, right? There's the court system, and then there's us. We
Yeah,
from the street. We're not from the courts. So let's talk about this in street justice terms, right? When we go to war in the street, I'm gonna use the word war because we just got finished talking about battle stuff. So I'm in the battle stuff mind, right? When we talk about going to war, we don't hit women and children. Why? Why do we not hit women and children? Because our humanity is at such a level to where we'll hit each other. But when the woman step out in front or when the kids are playing in the yard, we not shooting because our humanity will not allow us to victimize women and children. So I hear what people are saying. It does hurt me that a legacy, an icon, a hip hop legend, a boss who I don't want to see nobody go to jail. I'm not happy when people go to
well, if he was
jail.
doing all these things, he definitely should be in jail.
I'm not happy like that, I'm not, but I'm not gonna help the police. Like if they want some evidence from me, I don't got no evidence. I'm not helping you. I don't have no statement. However, though, in street terms, though, we got to start drawing some lines, y'all. And I don't want to be the moral police. I don't want to be the captain save them. I don't want to be but do we respect what we saw in that videotape? Do we respect what's coming out now? Honestly, we
But
don't. We don't
but
respect that.
let me say this before you jump in, Savon, because
We we don't respect
I think
that.
we're playing a lot of Monday morning quarterback right now. If you've been around
Yeah.
hip hop for a long time, you heard these stories about Diddy for about 10 years, right? So
I
does it take a video? Does it take a video for us to
but
start regulating
I
this?
didn't though. But
Well,
but
it
but
takes
but,
the
but
video
listen,
because that's the
I
first
thought
thing that
people were
people
talking
actually can
shit.
see the proof of this happening. It's a difference between hearsay and you actually seeing somebody doing something. That's different.
Exactly. Well, I thought people were talking shit because for years people would be like, say this and that about Diddy. And I would think to myself, well, I don't know Diddy, so I don't know. I don't have no comment. Plus, I really don't care, honestly, about what his personal life is, honestly. So I just looked at it as hater talk. But when I see something on video, though, that did kind of sway me in my opinion. I'm gonna be honest because I'm looking at it. You're asking me to not look at what I'm looking at. So and again, it's not like I'm wishing the downfall of this man and I'm not happy about this, but my as a man first, if I see you kicking, beating, stomping, dragging a female, I just kind of I don't respect that.
But
I just don't.
it is no
I don't
respecting it
respect
at all. And as men, we don't respect
There's
any
no
of
I
that. But
don't
respect.
respect
I
that.
don't think it takes a video for us to start. I don't think we need videos to start drawing lines and start checking things. We don't
I
need
just
any
thought a
videos for that. If we hear 100 stories about the same thing, it shouldn't take a video for us to get or some charges to
yeah,
be
but
brought up on
video is
somebody
a
for us to
video
be,
though.
oh, now we want to regulate. We should have regulated 10, 15 years ago. You know what I'm
I
saying?
didn't know it was true 10 years
without
ago.
without without
I
seeing
didn't
stuff
know
with
it
your
was
own
true.
eyes, without seeing your stuff own eyes, is always going to be hearsay. There's been a gang upon of people that can coerce into a lie. You know what I'm saying? But if you see something with your own eyes, you can't deny what your eyes are seeing. And whether Diddy is guilty of the actual charges. He's guilty of, just like I said, of being a just a fucked up person. There's no denying that. So even hypothetically, if he beats this, there's no coming back after this. There's not. You know what I'm saying? Like your credibility, your respect, all of that is gone. G, like there's no way to defend those acts we seen. Even damn, what's being brought out in the courts. That alone is why you have to say, "Hey, yeah, I can't rock with that, bro."
But see,
But
my thing is the bodyguards is saying that they he's a sucker and he ain't no real man, but they still
and
rock with
those
him
guys are just as guilty because
on
they
their
watched the
payroll
stuff.
for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? I just don't get that. I don't get how you saw all this. They allegedly on all these
Right.
podcasts say they saw it, right? How do you see all this for all these years? And now that he got a
I been
case,
said that.
now he got a
I
case,
been said
now it's all this and all that. I just
Yeah,
don't I
yeah,
don't I
yeah.
don't rock with that.
I don't either.
I've
I
been
feel
said
like if you guys have so many stories and details of what's happening, you guys are going on podcasts and talking about what y'all seeing, whatever. Y'all are just a part of the problem because y'all as men watch this stuff go on and y'all didn't intervene because I guess y'all was scared of Diddy too. Y'all grown men. So I don't respect
make it
that
make
either.
sense.
All these
Make it
people having a million stories about what they seen while they were working for Diddy, but nobody did shit. You know what I'm saying? You're just as guilty. You know,
right.
so
It's like
I think that's 22.
this mentality of where we don't draw lines, right? Because that in a lot of our culture we say, well, we're not going to draw no lines. We just have a anything goes where everything is okay. That mentality is not sustainable where everything is okay. Some things are not okay. It is not okay. Like and granted, how things are presented in court have to be proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. Now, I'll hold my opinion on that because I've seen some things come out in court that are damning to me. But
Yeah, yeah.
I'll hold that opinion. You know what I mean? But it's like just the overall picture, right? We have to get to a point where some things are not okay. I'm sorry. And it's like some things are just not okay. I'm not the judge. I'm not the moral police. I'm not Mr. Perfect. But some things are not okay. And what was done to Cassie is not okay. Like, and
Yeah.
whether she participated in it, whether she made phone calls or did, as men that are sometimes more than 15 years older than people in their 20s, we kind of, it's not okay. Like, it's just
I don't
not.
I don't think she's squeaky clean, but to
Hey,
ignore that she's a victim in some sort of being with Diddy, yeah. I mean, there's no denying that. But in court, it's not
not
about
just
what we
Diddy,
think
but
emotionally.
everything.
It's not about what we think emotionally. It's not what our opinions are. It's about what you can prove. And right now, it's not looking good for this guy. And you know, whatever happens, happens. I don't feel sorry for people that do things like this, man. But it's still early. I'm really interested in how the defense is gonna take it on, but it's just like from what I'm seeing right now, my opinion changed from what I was telling you guys this afternoon, right? Because earlier I was like, I don't see how they're making a case of what he's being charged with. But when they talk about that video and how that may be under duress for that, the freak off thing and him forcing her back or
Right.
whatever, I'm like, okay, well, that could be grounds for them proving that sex trafficking. Well, on top of the other stuff, and I'm just like, well, we know you guys was paying for sex workers. They have actual, you know.
Yeah, they got the text and the emails and the business,
So I was like,
and
if
they got video. We
any, yeah,
got one video.
yeah, and I'm
They
like, if
got
there's not
multiple.
anything they're gonna get him for, it's that. Now the Rico one is interesting because technically, if Cassie was voluntarily calling up and hiring and doing that stuff as well, she's just as bit of involved in the criminal enterprise without the rest as Diddy is. So I think they're gonna be hard pressed of trying to prove that for the Rico side, but definitely for the trafficking side, I could see him go down. You
But
know,
here's the thing though, man. Like you were saying, if other men was around and they didn't do anything, that's a issue. You know what I mean? That's an issue. And I
we'll see
understand
that on
men, we
trial.
don't want to get involved. A lot of times we don't want to get involved, meaning like we'll see an abuse happening, right? And we'll be like, well, that ain't my business. I'm just gonna walk the other way because I don't wanna see that or be involved. And I understand that. But when things go on persistently over the course of years, it's like at some point someone was supposed to step in and be like, nah,
But that's
man.
all sucker shit then. You know what I mean?
Nah. You can't do this in front of me, bro. Like, we
Yeah.
not doing that. Like,
So
we not doing that.
you
You know
know,
what I mean?
I'm still
So,
interested how this is going to play out. You know, I'm interested in what the defense is going to do against it, and I'm interested in all these cross examinations. Like I said, man, however it plays out, whether he's innocent or guilty, it doesn't change my opinions on what I think about the man. But I feel like this is very interesting of a case with all the layers and players that was involved and witnesses. It's very interesting that he didn't take the plea deal
I,
prior because the way stuff looking, he should have took the plea or whatever that was. Because
yeah,
now,
the jury is getting more information than we get. We're already forming a conclusion off the information we got, but the jury got getting even more information than we got. So imagine what they thinking. You know, like,
yeah, because they're not
imagine.
releasing videos to the public. They're letting the jury and the people
Yeah,
involved look at those. So we
yeah.
don't even know what's on those tapes or what's being seen on top of the testimonies that's being done. So it's like I
Come
don't
on,
know.
man. We got to do better, man. And I just say this because I mentioned Snoop Dogg and his wife and the backbone that his wife plays in his career. You think Snoop Dogg would have made it without his wife from Gangland? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? So these positions that these women play are crucial, but it's not just about this too. You got the young rapper that got killed in Philly, which I don't know. I don't know much about this rapper, but I heard he was a good dude, voice of the streets or whatever. He was a good kid. So where are the lines? Like, we're just doing anything? I gotta push back against that mentality. Like, we gotta have some lines now, y'all, because a lot of us are grown now, like in our 30s, 40s. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Right, and
You know?
I wanted to touch on that. I actually had a graphic queued up. Shout out to LGB Qua, Philly rapper, the voice of the youth. Tragically, he lost his life on Mother's Day in a robbery attempt gone wrong in Philadelphia. I think some youngsters tried to take some jewels from him, and they ended up taking his life. For what I understand about this young man's music, he was very positive. He had a positive message. I'm not really familiar with a lot of his records, but I think he left a big void in the community, and it speaks to a larger problem that we have, in society in general, especially if you want to isolate it to within our communities where we just take life, we think it's Call of Duty, and life is
Nah.
not valued. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where this is coming from. It's coming from the home, from the parents,
A chain?
the music that we listen to. A chain is
Y'all
probably
killed him
worth
for a chain.
that's probably worth less than $5,000, twenty five
I
hundred
need to
dollars.
know what's
So
going on.
but it's systemic. This is one of many cases. This happens every day in cities across the country. But instead of talking about it, what are we going to do about it, right? So I implore the youngsters to kind of feed their minds with something else. I know, I like a lot of gangster music. I like a lot of drill music, street music, but we got to start fueling our spirits and fueling our minds with different things because this manifests itself in ways, right? What you feed yourself comes out. And unfortunately,
Exactly.
too many times there's parents burying their children, brothers burying brothers, sisters burying brothers, children burying their fathers. And it's, at some point, we got to say enough is enough. So yeah, this Diddy trust trial is sensational, and we're waving our finger about how bad of a person Diddy is. There's a lot of bad shit going on in multiple communities across the country, and we got to figure this out. So whether it's if you taking your children to school and there's a shorty that don't have a father in the house, or their mother's not there, or they don't have no uncles or no grandfathers, coach your team, coach your basketball team. Do whatever you can do. I don't have all the answers. I got
No,
two
but
boys
that
of my
was an
own.
answer.
I just
That
graduated
was
I just graduated my daughter from college. Um, and
that was the
Mike's
answer.
daughter just graduated. So there's lots of answers, and I think we should create forums where but it's enough, and enough's enough, right? Now, Pop Smoke, the future. I think Pop Smoke was the future of New York hip hop. We talk about how New York doesn't have a voice anymore, and New York hip hop is over. There he was. It was Pop Smoke, and he got killed because he posted his picture on IG. He was flashing money, having a good time, like youngsters do. And some folks ran up on him. They bust down his chain for $5,000. Um,
Listen,
it's
what
crazy.
you I just I don't want to I don't, I'm sorry to cut you, but you did have the answer right there. And this is based upon old proverbs of how we used to fix broken communities when in another life in ancient times. The men who had their stuff together would adopt the children that did not have parents. So sometimes the other parents would get killed in warfare or whatever. So the men that were remaining would adopt the other children. Now, I'm not saying you got to go so far as adoption, but you mentioned being a soccer coach, just like Snoop Dogg is a football coach. What happens when you do that is you do start forming a relationship with kids that do not have guidance. Unfortunately, yes, we internalize the music into action because I'm around the youth and I used to be a youth. When the youth, they're letting me know, no, this is real. They're active, they're willing to go all the way, and it's real. They're not playing no games. So you do have to tell them, like, bro, this ain't the way. This ain't the way. So again, I'm not trying to preach, but at some point, whether it comes from Ron, Sir Vaughn, or me, somebody out there is going to have to start presenting some solutions or ideas of solutions. It's going to have to come from somebody because this is not sustainable. I don't want you to get to court and now we have to fight the case. I'd rather you just not end up in court in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So we got to address these things, man, just at some point, whether it's me or whoever. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's been a discussion and things that has been going on since even before my time when we're talking about, violence in our youth and violence amongst us as black folks. And really, we could blame a lot of people about it. We could blame on the negative lifestyles that's being depicted. We could blame it on parenting. We could blame it on a slew of things. But at the end of the day, we just got to give a damn about each other, and that's one of the problems. We don't value one another. Look how we talking to each other. You know what I'm saying? We don't. These shorties, like, they don't really know what hope is outside of their whatever situation. So I see it from the other side as well. If you're not really given a place of hope, a lot of people don't see anything as worth living for, and that's one of the worst people you should fear. Is a person that feel like they have
Right.
nothing for. Like there's a line in the sand where you're gonna have people that just grew up that wasn't as fortunate as others. In any place of poverty, you're going to find low education, you're going to find violence, and you're going to find just resources not available for these people to be great out here. But at some point in time, it has to be a light switch that switches and say, I
Gotta
want better
be.
myself. I sat in the same classrooms as niggas that's been locked up, killed, or whatever. I've been on those same streets with the people that's been locked up, killed, whatever. Some of them I was even cool with. But I made the decision to go off to college, and it was the best decision I ever made. Do I look down on them as if I'm better than what they are? No, I understand products of environment. What you can't do is let that product, you being a product of that environment, swallow you. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
you know, it's a difference. Like, there's some shorties you're not gonna be able to get through to. There's people that try to talk to me and my friends, and some of them they couldn't get through to, and some of us stayed and listened. I mean, you can't save them all, but if you save one, bro, that does more than nothing at all. And honestly, it takes a group effort. It goes bigger than just the music. It has to do with sense of community. It's a whole lot that can go into it. But at the end of the day, we just gotta really start giving a damn about each other, because the way we tear each other down for less outside of the streets is crazy. You know what I'm
A
saying? Like,
chain, bro.
the way we value each other is crazy. So we,
Right.
at the end of the day, before whatever hood you claim, whatever street you from, whatever, you still human. And if you just have respect for other humans, dog. Like, respect costs you
Not
nothing.
to cut you. Not to cut you, but in music we learn codes, right? When the police come around asking questions, what do, y'all? We don't say nothing, right? Because we learned a code in the music of not to say nothing. When certain so that's a code. So just like we can learn that in the music, we could learn other things. I say that to say because you have the religious folks that will say, well, we need to ask God. Well, what if God is like, why I don't want to be involved with y'all? Now, I'm saying this as an example to what if God is saying, I'm busy and you know better. Like if you're 30 years old or 25 and you're asking God and God's like, wait a second, but why do I have to tell you when you already know what not to do? Why are you asking me? I'm busy controlling the universe. I'm busy doing other stuff. So we have to have a code to where you don't always have to beg God to intervene when you yourself can intervene on your own circumstance. When are you gonna do that? That's the only thing I'm saying, to where you're not asking someone else to intervene, but you intervene yourself. So we got to have a code that says, no, like, here's what you do to handle your situation. And if it comes down to a problem like we have in battle rap right now, you see how Absol was standing right next to Joey Badass. But what did it look like? Absol had a real problem with Badass? Did it look like he was gonna snuff Badass or do something to Badass? No, he respected the man right next to him enough to just handle it lyrically and then shake hands and salute, and without nobody getting hurt. That's how you handle problems realistically.
But
That's
you're speaking theoretically from a person that thinks in a logical sense, and not everybody sees it that way. I was young
true.
too. I didn't handle a lot of problems through just talking. Like, you try to preach to me, and fuck out of here with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, there's a certain part of some people get to a spot of reaching enlightenment. Some people don't make it there, and everybody has their own race to run, their own way of developing. I mean, what you're saying is not wrong, but the expectations we place on younger people, you have to remember we're young as well, and not all of them you're gonna get through from. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, if you could save one, that I think that goes a long way. I feel like life is about decisions, and I just feel like the way we go at each other and the way we treat each other as humans versus how we treat other people, the certain aggressions we take towards each other, we don't take with others, and that be what my biggest thing is. We be quick to kill one another,
Empathy.
quick to tell one another,
Empathy.
and
For
be understanding and respectful on the outside. So I always had a problem with that. But the save the world thing is not my pitch. My thing
hold
is,
on, Ron. We got to have empathy for people that feel a way about the Diddy Cassie situation. Imagine yourself being Cassie. Now, in your mind, you are Cassie. So while you're getting whatever you're getting from Diddy, put yourself in her shoes and then operate from there. And if you can't do that, imagine if that's your mother, that's your sister, that's your daughter. Now,
Mhm.
how does your mind wrap around this? So it's like there's a level of empathy that is missing because we don't put ourselves in the other person's shoes. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. We'll get it together eventually, but it's getting late, y'all. It's 2025. We've been killing each other for a long time, like
Well,
ever since I've been around.
well,
So
I think there's ways. I think there's ways and there's plans, and maybe these plans are a little bit too ambitious. But I think there's a way that you can reduce the killing of each other
Some people be
exponentially.
out
With these two plans, I got two plans. I think I would have put forward, and I'm not a politician, but I got two plans. Number one plan, I think we need to invest in marriages in America. I think we need to incentivize people to get married. Every year, it says a married couple gets married in 2026. If the bill passed, you get $10,000 off a rip. Then you get tax credits and bonuses, and your children get tax credits and bonuses every year that you're married. And then you get, every year that you're married, you get a
but
little
I don't,
stipend. You know what I'm saying?
Ron, you say that as if marriage guarantees a great household. There's people that are in marriages that are just as bad as a single parent.
Well, but it, but the statistics don't show that, Servon. I was a
I mean,
sociology.
statistics can
I was a
change.
sociology major. Every sociologist will tell you
right.
that that kids that come from their biological parents, the likelihood of them in
I mean,
success
that's
is
common sense,
higher.
yeah.
Yeah,
But they don't say coming from a healthy two parent household.
right,
Yes,
right, right. It's got
you
to
have
be
a better
healthy.
living. You have a better. I came from a single mom, and I panned out to be great. But I've known
Right,
people that came from having both parents in the house, and they learned some fucked up stuff through the abuse of their
right,
parents. And
right.
stuff. So being married doesn't
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But
that is
are
going to be
there
a good
any of us
household
that are
for them.
healthy left? Are there any of us
Yeah,
that are
yeah,
healthy
bro.
left?
I mean,
I
the
mean,
black
let's all go walk around our community and let's see how many healthy people we have. Now, healthy, I'm assuming, do you mean thriving? So it's like, if let's say for sake that let's say all of us have a problem that we're dealing with. So we're all not quite 100% healthy if I'm assuming all of us have a problem. If you're not going to marry, at least just handle the relationship responsibly, because ultimately marriage is an African concept. That's that we started that. But I don't want to go there because people don't like when I go there. But if we're not going to do that, at least we could just handle it responsibly. You know, you could handle your
I mean,
relationship
say,
responsibly.
let's preach a good, healthy family. That's something that should be promoted. Healthy family, and whatever
Exactly. I agree.
family doesn't always mean the regular nuclear family. It could mean there's a stepmom or a stepdad that comes in and take the place in helm and creating that family stuff. It's not always just a biological being together. Because, like I said, I've known people that came from those two parent households and they end up worse than individuals that didn't. You know, that's not always guaranteed, but there is factual information. You come from a healthy two parent household, that you have more than likely to be successful or whatever, or have the resources and backing to do that. But I know people that came from two parent households and had everything in their favor and stayed in a cul-de-sac and still end up being fucked up individuals. It doesn't always guarantee it, but yeah,
Fact.
we got to get back to promoting good,
There's a
healthy families.
And I had
And
how
I had one more plan. I had one more plan. So that's the first plan. The
yeah,
the
that
American
was a good
Marriage
one.
Act is a plan. Just a plan. Then I got another plan called Operation 365.
Hmm.
Just pick any community. Pick a community in Florida, Georgia, Cali, New York. Just we could do, you could do an experiment as one community. You could do Brooklyn, Queens, for
Uh-huh.
365 days. If there's no killing in 365, 165 days, everybody that lives in that district gets $10,000. Everybody. If there's no murder,
Yeah, but
if there's no
how
killing,
big is
no
the city
murder,
we're talking?
maybe no crime for 365 days, every constituent, every citizen within this municipality gets 10 grand for
I gotta push
365
back on
days.
that. I
Then
gotta
everybody
push
will
back
keep each other accountable. So I'm next to you, Leroy,
because
and
now
I'm like,
now you're doing things for money. Is it better to have the money or have integrity? Now most people are going to say it's better to have money than integrity. That's the sad part. Because when we talk about what was done to Cassie, a lot of women would sign up for that. They're okay with that because they would say, well, at least I get money. So, and a lot of people would be like, well, if I don't kill nobody for a year, I'm gonna get money. I'm okay with that. But see, now you're doing it for money. How come you don't kill somebody because it's not in your spirit to kill people? That's a different level. You
yeah,
know, so we have to get to a point to where I'm not gonna kill this person because it's just not in my spirit to kill this person, not because I want money. Now I hear what you're saying, Ron, but we're trying to fit a circle or a square in a circle. We're trying to fit into an American construct, which I'm okay with, I agree with, but let's keep in mind that we are our own culture within a larger culture. We're trying to fit into their culture. Why not we just handle our own culture to where, yes, money is important, but when it comes to integrity, we'll put money to the side to where the money won't even matter. You have to stand on integrity. Now that's a bigger game because if you don't have no money, does that mean you don't have value? The problem is a lot of people in our community would say, yeah, since you don't have money, you don't have value. And that is a backwards way of thinking. This little green piece of paper doesn't equate to my true value.
you're
It
right.
don't.
You're right. You're
It
right.
don't.
But I
Even if I had 1 million or 100 million, that piece of paper does not quite equate to what I'm spiritually holding.
You're
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
You're right. You're right. But I think right now we need to try solutions. And I think the $10,000 incentive,
I'm not mad.
Operation 365, say we pick the south side of Chicago, and just say anybody in O Block, no killing for a whole year. Everybody in O Block get 10 grand. But I don't know if that would work, but it's just in my
I don't
opinion.
think so. I don't know if that'll work, but it's like we have to come up with something. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you dropping that because at least you're coming with something.
A
Like
hundred
you
grand, a
came,
hundred grand. You think
you
can
came
a
with
community
some
stop?
idea.
Can a community stop killing for if everybody got 100 grand at the end of the year? 365,
Yeah.
no deaths. Can it?
Here's the thing, because David Banner just said something about a union in hip hop and things like this, right? In order for us to get the money, right? Let's say, well, you guys are in Atlanta and in Florida, right? So let's say if I'm going to address an issue in your community, maybe by your community center, the kids need instruments or a program or computers. Well, I have to address that with money. So how do I get the money? I would crowdsource and I would crowdfund, right? But if my people don't believe that I'm actually going to help, they're not going to send the money. So in some degree, in order for us to do these money things to start fixing problems, we are going to have to start trusting and putting money in. And you ain't got to put $1,000 in. You may only be able to put $5 in, and that's okay. That $5 is appreciated. But I'm saying is, at some the money is where we start, but at some point we got to even graduate past money to where now it's about integrity, and that's what's missing. And I'm not judging. I'm just saying what I see. You know what I'm
No doubt,
saying?
no doubt. Let me get to the super chat real quick. Everybody hit like and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend. We appreciate you rocking with us tonight. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're with Leroy, Savon, and RKY. Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says, just get married, y'all. Allegations, culture is wild. I
Yeah.
agree, man. If Puff would have got married, he probably wouldn't be going through this. If R. Kelly, just imagine if R. Kelly, saw Tony Braxton back in 1993, hop down on Tony Braxton. I'm just gonna rock out with Tony.
But
But
Things
do
would be
stuff
do
get
you
different.
people no matter who you with. You know what I'm
do
saying?
you
Like
know why you get married? Like, why? When someone asks why do they get married, they're not gonna give me good answers. We have to answer
I'm
why.
married. Ask me. Ask me.
Why?
I give you a great
No,
answer.
no, I'm just saying in general, not you, Ron, but culturally, we get married for a spiritual reason. Now I know people may not know that or agree with that, but if you keep
got the
going back
reason.
further, it's a spiritual reason to why we do that. And it's also a safety reason. And it's also a family because you want to produce your children or whatever. But there is a spiritual reason to why we do that. So a lot of people will say, well, if you get married, you can do this with your money and you can have this tax incentive and da 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 da. And all that is great. But just know there is when you see a Snoop Dogg, that doesn't happen without his wife. It just don't happen. Like they just him being this successful is because the foundation he's leaning on is his wife. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. So it's like now imagine if all of us picked a foundation, because when things go bad, right, we need someone to pick up the slack, and it probably ain't gonna be your homeboy or your family. So who's gonna pick up the slack? That's when you got your foundation. That's now you don't want to just lean on that foundation, but that is a good reason why, aside from children and love and all the normal stuff. But we got to get back to that, man. And people, it's not just surface I'm talking about, because people are going to hear my talking points and be like, well, you're just giving the regular, after school special response. But no, it's not an after school special. There's some very good reasons why. And you don't always have to be greedy. Well, I want 3 girlfriends. I want 5 girlfriends, 6 girlfriends. You don't always got to be greedy, my guy. You know what I'm saying? You don't always got to be greedy. When you're young, play the game. Before you get married, go out there and have all the experiences. But at some point, Diddy, I don't know how old Diddy was at the time, right? But when Diddy was reaching 40, it was time to chill, you know what I mean? And just like really chill. Now that's an extreme situation, but y'all know what I'm saying, man. But we got to get it together, man, because we're physically dying. Like we're physically dying. And I have to try to put a stop to that, and I can't do it on my own. I need every strong black male to accompany me with trying to help our people, because ain't no one else coming. If you think someone else is coming to help, well, no, they're not. No, they're not. You know what
No
I
doubt,
mean?
no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Well, shout
Uh,
out to LDP Qua, and shout out to everybody doing their thing, fighting the good fight. We got, and we'll continue to check in on these cases and all other things as they come about. But I wanted to pivot to something else, guys, because we get last week we talked about, me and Leroy talked about some movies, right? And that was a kind of like a big hit. People said, let's talk about films, let's talk about some other stuff. And I want to talk about the Marvel movies, man. There was a
oh,
ranking there was a ranking in USA Today of the top. They ranked them and they put them in order. And I want to get Sir Vaughn and Leroy's take on this real quick. Let me get my graphic loaded up real quick.
I just saw the Superman trailer. That's DC, but the Superman
So the
trailer
Superman
looks
trailer. I
fire.
want to talk about these movies real quick. I want to get y'all opinion on this because I had a couple problems with this list. I didn't necessarily agree with it. But I wanna talk about it real quick. Let me pull my graphic up. I go back to Blade. Like I'm a Marvel guy, right?
Yeah,
But
of
they
course.
don't count
Blade, of
that. I don't think
course.
they count that in the MCU
That
universe.
was
I did.
before the MCU.
Yeah, it was before the MCU, but Blade really
Right.
kind of laid the groundwork for the films. You know what I'm saying? But it don't get it don't get the credit that it deserves. But technically, these Marvel movies started with the Incredible Hulk. That was the first Marvel movie. But I want to go through the list real quick and just kind of talk about it.
I
Hold
thought it
on.
was Spider-Man. I'm
Nah,
tripping. I thought
nah,
it
Iron
was
Man started the Marvel universe.
Yeah, but
okay, 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 okay.
before that though, there
True.
was an Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. But the Iron Man did start the
I mean,
MCU.
there's
But
always been Marvel movies that happened, but not a part of
Okay,
the Marvel
okay,
universe.
I got
They
it.
had like Howard. They had like Howard the Duck. They had,
Right.
Blade. They had Knight Rider. You know what I'm saying? Those movies always existed, but the actual Marvel universe was like canon and starting off, but from Iron Man.
Iron Man.
all right, so let's
That's
go through the list real quick, guys. And y'all give me your reactions of what you thought about these films. Okay. Number 36 was Iron Man 2. I don't know if that's
I,
the worst. I don't know if that's the worst one.
Iron Man 2 was fire to me. I gotta keep it real. And
All the
I
Iron
gotta
Man
go
movies
too
is
in like
dope.
10 minutes, y'all. But Iron Man 2, I really like that one. You know, it was just me.
Number 35 was The Incredible Hulk.
I
That one
never
was
liked Hulk movies.
it was
All
okay.
right.
You say what?
I never liked Hulk movies.
Yeah,
Number
they're a little
34
special.
is Iron Man 3.
I was fire.
I wasn't really rocking with that one. Keep it real.
Number 33 is Thor: The Dark World. I thought this movie's not as bad as what people say. I like this movie. I don't.
I didn't
Eh,
like that. It make him too comedic.
that
Uh,
too. Yeah, I'm not a Thor guy. You know
Number
what I
I didn't
mean?
like
32. You didn't like the first Thor? I thought the first Thor was all right.
Nah, it's comedic. Like it threw me off.
Number 31, The Internals.
the Eternals wasn't bad, but they just it had no base. Like you didn't see what the background was to it, and they never followed up with it. It's just like one of those standalone Marvel movies that just
One
it
off.
deserves. Yeah, it deserves its place where it was. It wasn't a bad movie if you watch it. It just there's not enough depth to it.
Number 30, Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Oh, that should be in the top 10.
Yeah, I rock with that one.
Yeah,
Ultron's
this is
fire.
a little
That should
low.
be in the top 10, dog. That's
Ultron is
wild. Age of
fire.
Ultron was fire.
Yeah, they tripping.
That definitely be in the top 10.
It's definitely better than this one. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I wasn't feeling this one.
Ant-Man movies not bad, bro. I actually like Ant-Man movies.
They're all right. They're all right. You know what I
It
mean? It's
wouldn't be
not
in my
bad.
top 10, but I like Ant-Man movies. They're better than Thor and Hulk movies to me.
Captain America: Brave New World at 28.
I
Actually,
still ain't
that was
seen that.
I like that joint. It's too
I ain't
early to
even
like.
seen it.
That's a good one. I like that.
27,
Okay.
Captain Marvel.
Not bad, but wouldn't be in my top 20.
Yeah, I don't think I watched that one. I may have watched it. I forgot.
26. Let me say something about Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, Samuel L. Jackson had a big part in that movie.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, as Nick
I just
Fury, he had
think
a
that
big
they doing
part.
wrong with Captain Marvel movies. I think there's actually a lot they could do with that story, like with that character, and I think they're not really doing her no justice. I actually like those could be really good movies. I don't know what's going on with them in that Captain Marvel.
They're overthinking them. They're overthinking. You know what I mean? It's just action at the end of the day. Have a good action, and a good story, but they're trying to link. They're trying to make so many links into the other
Yeah, man,
movies.
it's like I don't know
It's
what they're doing with
complicated.
it. They're not bad movies. It's just a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
26, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, it's all right.
It
I don't
wasn't a
know if
bad
I,
movie.
but they're funny though. The
Hey, they
Ant
have to
Man
put
stuff.
some respect on Doctor Strange movies, man.
Yeah,
The
Doctor
movies be
Strange. Put some respect on Doctor Strange movie. Doctor Strange was a dope
especially
movie.
the last
This
one.
should be in the top 15 at least.
Yeah, hell
Yeah,
yeah. Doctor Strange, the first one is fire.
Shang-Chi was
I,
dope too, man. Shang-Chi was really good.
Shang-Chi was dope. Shang-Chi was dope. Oh, they
it
shitting on
was
they
alright.
shitting on
It
they
was
shitting
alright.
on Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange comes in at
Yeah, Doctor
23.
Strange is dope, man. They gotta put some respect on Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
bro.
22, Thor Ragnarok. I you
I
know,
actually like that one. That's probably my favorite one out of all of them, to be honest with you.
It got dope effects, the special effects and all the action. It
it
was
was
crazy.
funny. It was funny. Hulk
That
was in
one
this
was my
joint.
favorite one out of all of them.
21,
Yeah,
Black Widow was dope.
Black Widow
crazy.
wasn't bad, but it happened too late.
Yeah, it
I
To
happened
do
too
a
didn't see
late.
that.
prequel, to do a prequel of her, like she was like one of those fan favorites, and they did a prequel of her early. We get hit with the spam, man. Never every show.
It's the hip hop talks, folks. They do the spam shit. Hold on, let me get them out of here.
I thought it was. I thought it was that. They every time they about to come on, they get to spam. But
Yeah, they do.
okay,
They do that. That's it's real
shout out
corny.
to
It's
them,
real
man.
corny that they do that. But they come in here and they try to mess up our algorithm. They do thumbs down. They create all these accounts.
Okay,
It's
touche.
kind of it's corny. I don't do that. I don't do that on their joint. But it's
Yeah,
corny.
do it.
You know what I'm
Do
saying?
it. Give a fuck.
Who gives a fuck? Back to the regularly scheduled program. Number 20 is the Marvels.
I think that was a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I think it was too. 19, Ant-Man.
Okay, all right.
18, Spider-Man Far From Home.
All those Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland is fire, man. Every single one.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's cool. It's not bad. It's not bad.
17, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Guardians of the Galaxy movies aren't bad. There's a lot of comedic stuff in there, but those movies are not bad.
That's all right. Yeah.
16, I think this is way too high. I think Ragnarok is better, and I actually like the first Thor better. I really didn't like this movie. Love
Love
and
and Thunder
Thunder.
was terrible. I don't know why they have it written that rated that high above the other Thor movies, but Love and Thunder was terrible,
Terrible
bro.
movie.
Yeah.
Number
I ain't
15, I
seen
haven't seen
that
this
or
one, Thunderbolts. They changed the name to the New Avengers. Um,
That was a good movie. I seen that. I
it
went to go
was
see
good.
it like last week. Yeah, it was pretty good.
all right.
Number 14, the first Iron Man.
Fire,
I mean,
man. That's the
classic.
one that started
You
it
know what I
all.
mean? Yeah, classic movie right there. That was
Spider-Man
Homecoming is all right.
Homecoming.
I
That
did
was the
like the
one.
Homecoming.
I got a confession, man. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I didn't think this movie was a good
Yeah.
movie. I don't think Black
Which
Panther Wakanda Forever is a good
Wakanda
movie.
Forever?
I don't think the
I mean,
second one was that
I
good.
mean,
they did the best they could with man, I don't want to get his name wrong.
Chadwick Boseman.
Ryan
Bones
Coogler.
passing
Oh.
away. They did a good job, I guess, is putting the story together after passing of that main character. So I'll give it some grace. It wasn't a bad movie.
They
but
should have replaced him. They should just replaced the
Yeah.
cat. They should just
we
recast
My
him.
whole thing is this, man. They don't want to
we
see us winning. Like, and we get our ass kicked in Black Panther 2. We're probably gonna get our ass kicked in part 3. Like, we getting our ass kicked is like, why? Like, you know, so that's why I
he
really
was
didn't
getting
like it.
he was getting his
We get
ass
our
kicked.
ass
He was getting. I didn't like that he was getting his ass kicked. If you watch any Marvel movies, T'Challa got his ass kicked more than any hero in any film. He got his ass kicked in the first Black Panther. I didn't like that.
he did a lot of ass kicking too.
He
though.
did. He got his ass beat. Mubaka beat his ass at the ceremony. He got beat. He got thrown off the cliff. Somebody else beat. He
Nah,
was getting his ass
he
beat
got
through.
all of
I
them
ain't like
back
that. I think
though.
that
He
was
got all
subliminal,
of them
man.
back.
I ain't like that. I think that was
But
subliminal shit.
I like the first Black Panther though. But Wakanda Forever, it wasn't bad. It just I know what it would have been if Chadwick Boseman was still alive. They had to change the story a little bit. But I think
That's true.
I think it was pretty good.
It was all right, yeah.
Captain America, the First Avenger.
I never really liked that one.
They actually did good with Captain America
That was a
movies,
good
man.
film.
He's not being like a popular character in like cartoons and stuff like that. I think like the live action of it actually brought depth to the character itself. I really think the Civil War should be like in the top 3, but we ain't finished.
I saw
yet.
the vision. You know, I saw the vision, but I don't know. Infinity War though. Yeah.
We're at the
War
top
should-
10. Infinity War, number 10.
Yeah, definitely should be. I'm surprised they have it at 10.
That's
Number
top
9,
3.
Guardians of the
Infinity War
Galaxy
is top
Volume
3.
3. I think that
That
was
was
dope.
pretty good. That was pretty good.
Number 8, No Way Home, Spider-Man.
That one, that was fire. I like that one.
Cool. That was cool. That was cool. Yeah, the bad guy's cool.
7, Deadpool and Wolverine.
I didn't like it.
I didn't like
did
that
not
either.
like it.
It's
I thought that
overhyped.
shit was
Man. It's overhyped. It wasn't a good story.
It's all over the place.
Theory, it was like just to be able to see, you know, Wolverine back,
Man,
but it wasn't a good. It wasn't a good story. It wasn't a
that
good
shit
movie.
was
I like the
corny.
yellow. I like the suit though. I would like the suit though. I like the suit. You know
That
what I
movie
Yeah,
was
mean?
that's
bad.
cool, but the story is corny. Okay.
Super corny.
Number 6,
Yeah.
Black Panther.
That's respect. I like the first Black Panther.
Yeah,
There was so
Black
much
Panther's
culture
fire.
for the movie, the soundtrack, the hype for it. People going to the movie theaters and like their African garb and stuff. It was a lot of culture behind that movie, man. It was
Hell
dope.
yeah.
Number 5, the first Avengers.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the
rightfully
first
so.
one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
My favorite
Civil
Marvel.
War top 3 to me.
Civil War is my favorite Marvel
Four.
film.
Yeah,
Mm,
that was amazing.
That shit was amazing.
I'm
It's not even
undecided.
like
I'm undecided on that
it's
one.
not like even a
Amazing.
superhero movie. It's like a spy flick. It's like a Mission Impossible film
Right.
or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
Yeah, that
crazy.
New Mission Impossible on the way.
No, we're gonna rank
Yeah.
those movies too. We're gonna do that on another show, maybe
they
next
had
Thursday.
Endgame. Well, I get it. You can do it in
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
The
Endgame.
battle scene alone is why Endgame is in that place where it's at. Guardians of the Galaxy number
Yes,
2.
number
Come on,
2 is kind of high for
Better
me.
than Endgame?
come on.
I
That's
would
a
put
reach.
Civil War. I would put Civil War,
That's
Endgame. I would put Infinity War. I would put a lot over that. And
yeah,
number
Man.
come on.
1, Winter Soldier.
Hell no.
That was
Winter
fine.
Soldier
No,
was
Winter
dope.
Soldier top 5. Top
Yeah, but
5. Yeah,
number one though, the best Marvel film? Nah.
Winter Soldier was dope.
Nah.
That's the one I
Winter
meant to say.
Soldier was
Winter Soldier,
fire.
not I meant to say Winter Soldier, not Civil War. Winter Soldier is like a
Civil War
Mission
was dope, but
Impossible, Jason Bourne film. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Bro,
Winter Soldier had
Infinity War, it gotta be the greatest one. Now I get it if someone says a different one, but in my opinion, Infinity War gotta be the greatest one. Thanos won. How you
but
make
you
the
got it.
bad guy win?
You know they put in-game above it. They put in-game above it because the battle scene, the final fight scene.
Yeah, right,
But like
right.
Civil War
Yeah.
is like a dope movie because that's really like a Avengers movie without having the Avengers title. That's when you see Black Panther for the first time before they came out with the Black Panther movie, I think. And I
Right.
think that's when we first got introduced to the Tom Holland character as Spider-Man.
Right.
So yeah,
But you know,
man, there was
either
a lot.
Endgame or Infinity
Yeah.
War. We can't front on Endgame or Infinity War because it's gonna be one of those two. Gonna be
Infinity
number
War, I
one.
remember when that happened, he did the snap. The whole
Yeah.
theater was quiet afterwards.
Yeah. Yes.
I was
That's
like,
what makes it
"Ooh."
crazy. I was quiet. When he did that snap,
Yeah.
I was like, hold on.
Like,
Like, hold on. You killed
when you
everybody?
But when you hear the cheers and everything on Endgame, like after like, they
Right.
won, and then you see the emotions drop to when Tony Stark died. Like the emotional roller coaster of that movie is why I say
It's
Endgame
ridiculous.
over Infinity War, just because it
Right.
was more. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
audience, I profusely apologize for the spam. Again, there's some sucker shit going across around the way. It's obvious this show comes on in a few minutes. It may be already on. And every week they come in here, they create burner accounts, they do thumbs down, and they
Right.
come and do the spam. We
And
don't.
play.
This is not high school, right? We don't operate on your time. So when we put on our shows, we can give 2 fucks when you come on, right? So I think it's kind of corny that you try to sabotage, mess up our algorithm. I'll be a sucker too. I'll report y'all to YouTube. They'll do an investigation. I'm actually gonna fly to New York in a couple weeks. I'll go to the YouTube office. They'll source out who it is because I know people
I
that
just
work.
do
I
that.
know people that work at YouTube. So I'll reach out
I,
to the vice president of YouTube. They'll do an investigation, source the account, look at the IP address, and then maybe your whole channel will be removed. So if you're watching and spamming, I do have the ability and I do have the contacts and network to have your
just
whole
like rap.
YouTube channel removed, and it won't mean nothing to me if I can prove that it's actually y'all. But it's you put 1 and 1, 1 and 1 is 2. It seems like it's y'all. I even see y'all idiots even came and put hip hop talks and spam hip hop talks in the spam one time. So it's
I remember that.
it's y'all idiots. So I'll reach out to
Look,
my folks at YouTube. Y'all be demonetized in a couple weeks.
just like rap
My
music,
last
man.
and final warning to you: if it doesn't cease, then I have to take it to the top. And it is what it is, man. And that's not a threat. That's actually a promise. I got them on my phone already, so it's all good. But back to what I was saying.
Right when you said
I want the new Blade movie. I want the new Blade movie.
this
I want to
is
see
hilarious.
X-Men. I want to see
Hey.
the X-Men in the MCU. I want to see a Gambit movie. I think there's a lot that could be
Hey.
done
The
in the
Blade
universe.
movie might be in trouble. The Blade movie might be in trouble because they're
I don't
trying
know.
to, figure out how to do it. They had a plan, and then all of a sudden, I guess the plans changed in some degree. Now they're having trouble following through. I don't know what the problem is exactly, but they're having problems putting that out. I'm gonna have to bounce y'all because I got a meeting at 6:30. I hope the Blade movie comes through. Tonight I'm gonna check out the new Exhibit album. But everybody, y'all keep it lit, man. But I love the
Yeah.
energy, man. Joey Badass, come on, man. I'm not from New York, but I respect your
I
game,
was just
got
dope.
my guy. I gotta respect it. So salute and Ray Vaughn, I respect what you're doing. So let's just keep it lit, man. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Yes,
Shout
sir.
out everybody. Love.
No doubt, no doubt. So Ron, before we get out of here, I got one more topic. One more topic tonight.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. The NFL schedule came out, and what you think about it, man? What you thinking this how's this year gonna shape up? Last year, I don't know if you were on the show back last year. I think you might have been. You and Super. I told you and Super that Josh Allen was going to win the MVP. That happened. I thought the Bills were
Yeah,
going to
he
go to the
did.
Super
He said it.
Bowl. That I thought the Bills were going to go to the Super Bowl. That did not happen. But I did look at their schedule. They do have a really easy schedule. I think they play. They don't travel west at all. They got home games. They gave them like a cake schedule. Um, I'm thinking the Bills may get to the AFC Championship game again. I think the years and attrition may catch up to Kansas City. And I got the Bills in the Super Bowl. I'm looking forward to the Thursday night Thanksgiving game, Cowboys and Chiefs. That's going to be dope. I'm looking forward to the Bills and Ravens to start the season. I'm looking forward to Eagles and Cowboys Monday Night Football kickoff. They got a Madrid game. They got a Brazil game. They got
Yeah, we got like
a
six
Berlin
international.
game. It's going to be crazy. So what you think the season's going to do?
I know the players are tired of having to play on Christmas. It's like 3 Christmas games.
Right, on
It's wild.
Netflix. It's
Yeah, they
crazy.
got 3 Christmas games, man. Um, you did call out Josh Allen winning. You did
Yeah,
winning the MVP.
appreciate you,
You
appreciate you,
called it. You did.
appreciate you,
Um,
appreciate you.
I'm riding with the Jags, man. I'm a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, man. We got Travis Hunter. The overall draft that we did was pretty good. I know the highlights been on Travis Hunter or whatnot. We just signed a DB from Colorado too, Cameron. Over there at the Jags. I mean, I like what the Jaguars about to do. I got season tickets. I will be there. But overall, NFL, man, I hope it's better than what the NBA is doing, man. Because watching these playoffs, man, like after the first round, this next round is ass, bro. It's like I'm seeing teams coming back from 20-point deficits and winning, and like is shout out to Ant. Ant's been doing his thing, like Ant-Man, he's balling. But like basketball has been terrible. So I hope this football stuff has been pretty good, man. I'm about to be on my fantasy football stuff. Catch me on Hard Rock Bet. you know, I get in during football season, man. I'm a football guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to it. I really want to see what these rookies do. You know, I wonder. You know, I hope they live up to the hype. Travis Hunter. You know, I want to see Shador prove him wrong. Shiloh's been killing in training camp right now. I'm also looking forward to college football. I'm looking forward to college football too, man. I'm a Florida State fan. We were trash last year, rightfully so. You try to build a team out of a transfer portal. You know, those were pieces that helped before when we got our our undefeated team. But you know, I just didn't see the chemistry with this past team. I like this young group. I like this quarterback we got. We get a season at Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee. I hope to be there. I'm looking forward to football, man. College and NFL, man. So if anybody want to get down in this fantasy league, man, holla at me. We gonna get it in, man. I play in the fantasy league. Soup was talking about it. He had an idea of a fantasy league we can throw together at Court and the Hip Hop, man. So you know, let's make something happen. But I told him I only do 10 people leagues, man. 12 people leagues. One person get hurt, and then you know the waiver wire is crazy when nobody don't want to trade and stuff, man. It makes it like a depressing thing to do when there's more than 10 people. But we should start a A2HH fantasy league, man, and make and give some, you know, do something creative with that, man. But I'm definitely that guy in football, man. I don't lose.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Well, prediction real quick. MVP, I think Josh Allen gonna go back to back with it. MVP, that's my MVP. And I think Super Bowl pick, I got Buffalo, and I'm going with the Eagles. Buffalo versus Eagles Super Bowl. That's where it's going to go. AFC Championship game, I got Kansas City. Actually, I got Baltimore and Buffalo in the AFC Championship game. I don't think Kansas City. I think it just happens when you go back to back to back to back. You're gonna fall off one year. So I'm thinking that it's gonna be Buffalo, and Baltimore AFC Championship game. NFC Championship game. I got Eagles. I got Eagles and Packers. NFC Championship
You
game.
know, I'm not a fan of this team at all, but with them adding old boy over there, I really think that Cowboys team, if Dak, I don't know how he's going to keep on getting rewarded with these many weapons all the time, but if that offense pan out the way they want to, I think the Cowboys can make a run in the playoffs. I also like what I see from they've been shaping up defense.